All right. Thank you for joining. Today I wanted to go over Blur USD on the Coinbase chart. And as you can see, I've pretty much already charted this out in the past, just never really went over this at all in any videos. So as you can see, we do have this basically a bullish pattern unfolding in front of us, right? So this falling wedge is playing out. We had 1, 2, 3 taps. Some people may have a different idea about using this, but let's just say you don't use that. You can go ahead, drop that here. You can drop that right there, right? So it's still a falling wedge at the end of the day. I just like the way how this kind of lines up. Pretty much taps, all three. But like I said, it really doesn't matter. These 2 points are valid enough where if you do drop the line right there, this pattern still plays out. So we can go ahead and leave that there for now. So really quick to jump into this project here. With Blur, we had a massive sell-off. Basically swept all the liquidity underneath most of these lows, right? With this drop, as you can see, swept the liquidity here and all these lows too as well. Price increased higher, formed a lower high, and I believe, let's go ahead and see if that was off the golden pocket. Yeah, lower high off the golden pocket. Price then retraced even further, swept these lows once again. As you can see, this was actually a very nice sweep of the lows. So if I was to go ahead and draw a line out, you can see swept it, kept on grabbing liquidity, closed above, impulsed higher, and then once again we had price now retracing off of the diagonal trend line here. Let's go ahead and see what happens here. Yeah, then it goes ahead and retraces off the 50%, right? So we had the golden pocket before right here. Price went ahead and got rejected from, came down, swept the lows, impulsed higher, got rejected off the trend line, but also got rejected off the 50% on the Fibonacci, right? So this was like a double confluence. Price then began to sell off one more time. Didn't really quite get to this bottom of the channel, even if we were to go ahead and put it back to what I had before, right? It's still a little ways away. And with that being said, maybe we do get price come down and tap this level right there. But if not, I think this is a very interesting level. We have obviously support at the lows, also swing failure. We are very close to this zone for the most part, right? So we're very close to this little zone. And like we said, price likes to react in zones, right? So it's never going to be a perfect tap, even though it would be nice for price to come down to that low. But with that being said, I do consider this pretty much a valid sweep of the lows. I think if we were to go ahead and zoom in, yeah, massive sell volume increases, but we didn't close below this low right here, right? So we still managed to close above it on the 8 hour, and we're getting a little bit of a move up. Now, can price continue down lower? Yeah, I believe so. But where would we really be expecting that price to go? So if it taps this level, there's not much really going on. Maybe we do get a little bit of sideways action, I'm assuming, right? Maybe get a little bit of a sideways action. Price comes up, fails the breakout, comes back in, taps the low, and then really breaks out there and continues higher. Maybe we can get something like that, but for right now, we do have a daily level above. I would be keeping an eye on that level above, because that level is about, let's see here, 4% away. It's a pretty decent gain. We would then have to flip this resistance into support, right? Let's go ahead and, so pretty much like what I have shown here. So resistance right here, resistance here, flip it into support. Might get a little bit of back test of the daily level. But with that being said, and then continuation to the upside. Now from these lows right here, to the golden pocket above, which got rejected from. We can go ahead and look past that, right? So we have the daily above. That could be a 50% gain on Blur. This is a very strong project, as you can see. It does like to do this similar price action, right? This right here is very similar to what's going on here. We had lows, 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 price impulsed higher, then came down, swept the lows, and then broke out above, right? So lows, 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 impulse higher, came down, swept the lows, and it just seems like it wants to go ahead and follow what it did in the past. So we can always use the where is this tool here? This one, the bars pattern tool, right? So let's go ahead, pull that out here. And even though it is a little bit different, I would expect very similar price action. As you can see, low, low, the price will then impulse higher and move higher. Obviously, it's not going to do the same exact thing, but you know, this is very close at the end of the day to the price action we had before. As you can see, sell off, impulse, sold off, impulse, impulse comes down, sweeps, and moves higher. So I do expect this kind of pattern to really play out. And like I said, will it play out exactly? Who knows? But I think this is just something to keep in mind, especially with Blur at a very interesting level. The only thing I don't like is that we are pretty much at resistance, right? So this was demand, 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 back tested it into support, and we may just back test this resistance and continue down lower, and then aim for the weekly below, right? Now, if we were to aim for the weekly, let's just see if anything else would line up here. If we were to take this low and then add it to this low, no, it's way too steep. Don't like that. Let's see here. I'm actually going to draw something else on a different chart. Let's see something. Oh, that does not look good. Let's go to Kraken maybe. Okay. So I wanted to pull this up because I am seeing something here. Not quite, actually. Yeah, that's not really lining up. Slight deviation, maybe. Let's see. What's going on with this? All right, this will be a lot easier. Boom, boom, boom. No, we pretty much lost that level. Well, not quite yet. We're using those two highs. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Lost it. Touching the bottom of the channel. So, you know, when you see stuff like this, then now you can see, if I was to go like this, how things can then start to look, right? Then also, right, so, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we have something here, right? Kind of a triple confluence. So we have the bottom of the parallel channel, right? We have the 75% on the Fibonacci, right? We also have this diagonal trend line support resistance zone, right? Like I said, it is a zone. Maybe you pull it like that. And that's 1, 2, 3. Now, with that being said, I'm even more bullish on Blur. As a matter of fact, I think that we will get a decent move up as long as Bitcoin stays neutral or begins to move to the upside, because this really is a very interesting level. So let's just see how everything plays out here in the next up and coming days. Like I said, if we do fail this level, we do have a weekly level below. which would be at 43 cents. But for right now, Blur is looking very interesting. It's pretty much at a triple confluence level, and we will see how everything else plays out here in the upcoming future. Remember to like and subscribe to the video. Follow me on Twitter or X. And leave a comment below of a project that you would like to see me chart. So this one's a little bit different, right? So maybe this parallel channel is not as valid. Let's go ahead and see something else really quick. If we use that as a low, yeah, no, it's not really as valid, but you still have a double confluence. The only thing is we are right below this resistance, so keep that in mind, because price could easily just come up, tap the daily, which is the supply zone, and then just continue to move a little bit lower, right? It'd be nice to do something like this. Right, this kind of just seems like a better, healthier price action, especially leaving into the halving. I think this will actually be a better way for things to play out. Make a little bit lower lows, keep sweeping the lows, impulse out of the falling wedge, back test a couple key zones, sweep the liquidity out of that zone once again, tap the weekly before then impulsing higher, and then off to the races for the bull run. Either way, it's about 52% gain to the next major resistance on Blur currently, which sits at around 80 cents. So this seems like a decent area to re-enter a long position. Obviously not financial advice, but I think with this project here, the upside does seem very, very probable, right? Very, very probable. So yeah, like I said, let's see how that all plays out. And that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching and have a great day.